Hello, my name is Charles Webster Baer, and today is September 6th, 2014, and I am in Tianjin, China. And today I'm going to talk about the history of the universe. And this will eventually be made into a full-length feature film. Okay, so the history of the universe. Well, the universe was created 15 billion years ago. The universe has always been around. If the universe has always been around, then that means 15 billion years ago it was smaller than humans can comprehend, and then it got larger, and then 15 billion years ago it got large enough for humans to comprehend. That's if the universe has always been around. If the universe was created, then it was created 15 billion years ago, and it expanded rapidly, called the Big Bang. And as it expanded, the energy plasma cooled down. And as the energy plasma expanded and cooled down, it formed dark energy, which accounts for the majority of the universe. And as the dark energy expanded and cooled down, it formed dark matter, which accounts for about a quarter of the universe. And as the dark matter expanded and cooled down, it formed quantum particles like leptons, which make up electrons, and quarks, which make up neutrons, and photons, which make up light particles. And as these quantum particles expanded and cooled down, they formed hydrogen atoms. And so a couple of minutes or hours after the universe was created 15 billion years ago, we've got this huge expanding cloud of hydrogen. And then gravity was created, and this expanding cloud of hydrogen had gravity act on it in certain areas, and the gravity pulled these hydrogen clouds together, and the gravity was so intense with these hydrogen clouds coming together that fission or fusion was created, and stars were created. And the stars fused the atoms together to form the elements. And the stars, gravity acted on the stars to create galaxies. And today the universe is still expanding even faster. It's picking up speed and expanding faster and faster. And 5 billion years ago, the sun was created, and the leftover matter from the sun created the planets in the solar system. The planets closer to the sun were rock or hot lava, and the planets farther away from the sun were gas, like Jupiter and Saturn. And the Earth was created, and the crust of the Earth cooled off to form rock, and gas was expelled to form the oceans, and about 3.5 billion years ago, life was created in the form of bacteria. Life was created by accident with the right particles and elements and the right amount of energy or whatever. So we're very lucky that that happened. Lucky us. This bacteria or whatever it was reproduced and evolved into algae and seaweed, and that produced oxygen to create the atmosphere, and ocean plants turned into land plants, and the plants evolved into reptiles, which evolved into mammals, which evolved into monkeys, which evolved into humans about 3 or 4 million years ago in Africa. So 3 or 4 million years ago in Africa, humans were evolved. So humans, that's us. We, split out of Africa 200,000 years ago or whatever, and populated the whole planet. And we're smart, so we created language, and we learned how to farm, we learned how to domesticate animals, and we learned how to talk, and we created languages to communicate. And we formed cultures and traditions, and eventually we formed countries and governments about 10,000 years ago, all over the planet. And all these different tribes had creation myths because they wanted to explain where we came from and how we got here. So they created creation myths or ghost stories or whatever to explain what they didn't understand. And that's how religion developed. And then in the year 500 BC, a guy named Buddha from Nepal headed south to India, tried to figure all this stuff out, and he did, because he was smart. And he created a philosophy which came to be known as Buddhism, which said basically everybody relax and have a good time and be cool, and that's about it. Dig it. He also identified the soul. And basically how he did that was he said, well, what do we as humans know? We know we exist. Well, do we know anything else exists? No, we don't, because we can't trust our senses, because, you know, we can't, because maybe we're dreaming. So we know we exist, but that's all we know. We can't know anything else exists. So if everything else exists like we assume it does, then that's great. And if only we exist, then that's the soul. So that's what Buddha said. He said, if everything else exists like we think it does, then that's that, and everything's great. But we can't know that for sure. And if all this other stuff doesn't exist, and only I exist, then that's the soul. So that's what Buddha said. And he's correct, technically. And this stuff made it east to China, where they understood it, and it made it west to the Middle East, where they misunderstood it. And the first person to misunderstand it was Jesus. The second person to misunderstand it was Muhammad. So that's actually where religion comes from. And so that's that, you know. And there you have it. And then everybody had a lot of fun with religion. So then we got Europe and the Industrial Revolution, and then we've got technology, or more specifically, the Europeans have technology. And the Europeans use technology to take over the planet, and so that happened. And then America came along and developed this idea of freedom, individual freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of press, democracy. And that caught on, which is cool, you know. And then all these different nations got their independence, and there was some wars, and that's where we are now, 2014. So that's the history of the universe. The short version. I may have left a few things out, but let's not stop at the present. Let's keep going into the future. Let's make this the complete history of the universe. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Alright. So, as we continue down the number line, Then we get to the next century, 2150 AD, and at this point there's the Asian nation, the American nation, the European nation, the African nation. There's like 7 or 8 nations. And so now we go to 2300 AD, and there's one country, one government, one currency. And so now we go to 3000 AD, and because of the one woman, one child policy that's been in place for centuries, the human population has reached a sustainable level at 2 billion people, and so everybody can breathe clean air and drink clean water and be happy, blah blah blah. Well, isn't that nice? That's so nice. It's nice. It's nice. So now we go to 500 million AD, and humans have evolved into robots. So there's robots and humans living together happily, peacefully. The robots think that they're superior, and they are, but the humans feel that they have a right to exist, so they continue to exist. Now let's go to 2 billion AD. Okay. Now what you've got is you've got a post-robot species that is colonizing the universe, and you know, because it looks nice or whatever. And so now you've got robots colonizing the universe, and so when the sun blows up and the Milky Way galaxy collides with the Andromeda galaxy 5 billion years from now, it's all okay because life has split to all the other galaxies to colonize them. Which is our mission. The mission of life, from plants to animals to humans to robots, is to colonize the universe. And that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it in 1 or 2 billion years or 3 billion years, because we need to do it before the sun explodes and the Milky Way galaxy collides with another galaxy in 5 billion years. So we've got plenty of time. We've got plenty of time. We just need to get through this difficult period called the 21st century. And to help us do that, we'll use something called global internet government. And global internet government is what's going to help people on Earth survive this millennium. And the website for global internet government is www.gig15.com, gig15.com. So, my name is Charles Webster Baer. Today is September 6th, 2014. I'm in Tianjin, China, and that was the history of the universe. And the website is gig15.com, global internet government. And peace in the hood.